kids, hi parents, and welcome back to another episode of Cooking with the Mayor. Today we're going to be doing another kids recipe, and we're going to be doing an adult recipe. But first we're going to start off with the kids recipe, and it's called Kids Fruit Loops Cheesecake. So let's get started. So I'm going to melt some marshmallows. You don't really need a full pack. You only need probably 3/4 of the pack. So you put them in a microwave safe dish, like that. And you got some butter here. We're going to throw the butter in with it. Like this. And then you're going to put it up in the microwave. And you need it for 2 minutes, but we're just going to put it on a minute first. Just going to put it on for a minute first, and then we're going to come back to that and stir it up. So while we're waiting for that, we can get started on the cheesecake part. So you're going to need a pack and probably a half of cream cheese. So open up the packs and leave your packs of cheese, cream cheese out in the room in your kitchen for probably, you know, half a day at least to get it room temperature. Because if it's in the freezer, it's going to be too cold, and you won't be able to do anything with it. So the pack here. That's one pack. So just a minute. So we'll take this and we're going to check it. So we'll stir this up. Make sure they're melting good. Good. So we'll put it back up for another minute. There we go. And the other little over half probably of this one. Go. Away. Now to this, we're going to add our whipping cream. And you're going to want to fold one of those. I'm going to mix this up while we're waiting for the marshmallows. You want to come in and see what I'm doing. So you're just going to blend it together. Make sure it's not lumpy. Then we're just going to put that to the side, and we're going to get our marshmallows out. And we're going to take our Fruit Loops. And we're going to put in Fruit Loops. It's just like making Rice Krispie squares, but instead of Rice Krispies, you're using Fruit Loops. So it's good. Now we're going to stir all this together. And like I said, it's the same thing as when you're doing Rice Krispie squares. The only thing is, in difference, you're using Fruit Loops. Make sure it's all combined. This is fun for the kids, and for sure it's fun for the parents. And at the end of it, you're going to have a good cheesecake that you and the kids made, and that and probably the kids and the parents put together. It's going to be really colorful. So when I get it all mixed through, we're just going to let that cool off for a minute. And we'll get back at this. And to this we're just going to add some sugar. And we're going to add some lemon juice. And some vanilla. stir this again. Mix it together with our mixer. Now this one here is a no-bake cheesecake. And the next one that I'm going to do is going to be a baked one. It's going to take a little longer. So we want all the lumps out of this. So I'm going to turn off the mixer. So you want to mix it about probably 2 to 3 minutes or so. To make sure that all the cream cheese is mixed through. And you'll see as you're doing it, it thickens up a little bit, and this is because of the whipping cream. And that's what you want to see. You want to see it really creamy. As you can see here. You see it thickening up. I'm just going to scrape that off the sides there now. Just make sure it gets down. Start mixing it in. When you think you got all the cream cheese mixed through it, you can stop. And I bring up the mixer just to make sure that I got most of the cream cheese off. There we go. That's good. So get this out of the way. Then we're going to take our pan. I already cut some parchment paper out of it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use some cooking and baking spray, and just make sure you get around. And I'm using a spring pan, and spring pans are really good because when you go to take it out, it's easy to take out. I always use parchment paper, so use parchment paper now on the bottom and around the sides. This really makes it easy for your cheesecake to come out of the pan. So we're going to do that. Then you're going to take your Rice Krispies, the Rice Krispie mix up, but it's Fruit Loops that we're using. But like I said, it's the same thing as you would do for Rice Krispies. You're going to put this in the bottom. So make sure you get it all in the bottom. Put it in the pan. Like that. It's very gooey. And then we're just going to take that off. Like that. And we're going to flatten it out as best as we can. As you can see, we got it in here. Same thing, like I said earlier, same thing as when you're doing Rice Krispie squares. All the only differences that you're using Fruit Loops for. So mix it. And you're going to come up the sides a little bit. So bring some of the Fruit Loops up to the side. Like this. You gotta take your time because this is still a little warm. There you go. All right. Now I'm gonna let this cool off for a minute, and then we're gonna come back. And like I said, just let it cool off for about probably 10-15 minutes or so before you put your filling inside, your cream cheese inside. And then we'll show you what to do after that. So I'll come right back and I'll show you what to do with the rest of the recipe. Hi kids and parents, welcome back. Now I'm going to, like I said before, we got our Fruit Loops base ready. Now we're going to do our cream cheese for the top. So like I said, I got this all done. It's pretty well thickened up, as you can see. And that's the consistency that you want to see. So now you're going to pour this on top. I'm going to turn over just so that you guys can look at me do this. And you're going to take it all and scoop it in there. And then you're just going to spread it around. Like I said, just spread it around. Looks so good already. Make sure you get it all. And just for a fun part, we're going to take some of our, I got some food coloring here, and because there's different colors in the Fruit Loops, we're just going to go around like this with some blue, and we'll do some. Oh, sorry to get it off. Do some red. Do some yellow. And we'll do some green. Like that. And then we're going to just take a swirl stick. And we're just going to make a weaving pattern. See what we're doing? Gonna look good already. And then we're going to roll it this way. Like that. Just make sure it mixes through. Looks good. So then we're going to take this and we're going to put it in the fridge, and it's going to be there for, put it in there for about 3-4 hours or so. And when you take it, you serve it, and I'll show you what that looks like later on. So stay tuned and come back and watch me do the other cheesecake. Welcome back, kids and parents. This is the next cheesecake that we're going to do. And this is a cheesecake that we're going to bake. So we're going to get started. Right now we're going to do the graham crackers. So I'll put the graham crackers in. This is going to be our base for our cheesecake. And we're going to put in some butter and a little bit of sugar. I'm going to mix this through. And like I said, this is going to be the base of our cheesecake. You want to make sure that the butter gets incorporated into the crackers, into the graham crackers. Now you can buy just graham crackers and do them yourself, or you can buy it already done in a powder form. I'm just going to put a little bit more in here. Just stir it up. Make sure you get the consistency that you need. You want it to almost form a ball in your hand, and it sticks together. I think that's going to do it. Looks good. Then we're going to take our pan, and like I've done with the other pan for the other cheesecake, I'm going to use a cooking and baking spray. And this is a springform pan, like I told you with the other one. And why I use this is because it's easier to get out. And why I use the spray and the parchment paper, because really you don't need to use two of it. But why I use two of it, it's easier for it to come out. And not only that, if some cheesecake sticks, it will not stick to two of it. It'll come out easier. So we'll line that pan, and then we're just going to take our graham base, and we're going to put our graham base right into the pan itself, and we're going to spread it around just like this. You want to make sure you get everything covered here, and then just take your cup, and it doesn't matter what you use as long as you can flatten it right out, because you want to make sure that very consistent right on around. And if you don't have enough in one place, just take it and root it around till you get even right on around. So take it now and just come up to the sides a little bit, like I'm doing here. Just make sure that you get some up on the sides. Like that. Just going to flatten it out again, just inside in the middle. So we're going to take this and we're going to put it in the oven. I got the oven on 350 degrees. And we're going to put it in the oven. It's going to be there for about 10 to 15 minutes or so. Not very long, just enough to do the base. So while we're waiting for that, we're going to get started on the cheesecake filling itself. So I'm going to take this out of my way. So we're going to start with cream cheese. Same thing we done with the other one. And we're using 3 packs of cream cheese today for this one. And it's pretty simple. And the cheesecake that we're going to do today, this one, that's going to be different from the one that we done earlier, because that was the Fruit Loops one. Today we're going to do a one in the oven, and it is a Newfoundland and Labrador baked apple cheesecake. And it's the best baked apples, I would say, probably in the world. Because, you know, really, anybody can make a cherry cheesecake. But it takes really special techniques to do a baked apple cheesecake. Like I said, do 3 packs of cream cheese. That. And then we're going to incorporate our sugar. And we're going to mix this through just before we put everything else in. And you want to start off on low, because you really don't want to do this one on an eye setting. You just want to make sure that you get everything through. It takes time. And with this cheesecake, time is the thing, because you really want to set out with a lot of time to do this one, because the results at the end is going to show you that time mattered. So then we're going to add to that, we're going to add some sour cream. And some lemon juice. And with the lemon juice, I like to put in a little bit of the lemon zest. So I'm going to zest in some of the lemon itself. Do it like that, and then we're going to put in some. Oh, hold on, this one. We're going to put in some vanilla, like that. Just that way. And I'm going to add a little bit of pectin into this, just to thicken it up. Mix this through, and as we're mixing this through, we got 3 eggs to go in, but don't put 3 eggs in at one time. And really, we're only going to use the 2 eggs, and we're going to use the egg yolk of the 3rd egg. So we're going to mix that through. see how's it going here now? It's going good. So make sure you mix that egg through. And we're going to put another one in. Mix that one through. And then with this one, all you need is the yolk. So I'm going to separate the yolk like that. Just put the yolk in because we don't need the white. And we're going to mix this through. So I'll mix them through good here now. So you mix this about another minute or so, and then when I comes back, I'll have the shell base out of the oven, and I'll get ready and put this together and just show you what I'm going to do. So we'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm still mixing up, and this is pretty well good here now. And I just took out the base for the cheesecake. And we're going to scoop the base, scoop the filling, the cheesecake filling, into the base, to the cake pan. As you can see what I'm doing here. It looks good already, and the smell is wonderful actually. Wish you guys can smell this through this episode. So, we got that. And then we're just going to spread this around. This. Make sure the paper is up like that. And while I got flour wrap there, is that we're going to put it in a water bath, and I don't want the water to go up into the pan, because it is a spring form pan. There's gaps, and I just don't want the water to seep up in there. And we're going to do this like this. I got 2 layers of foil wrap, and like I said earlier, the oven is on 350 degrees. I'll put it in a water bath. We got the water here, as you can see, and we're going to put it in the oven, and it's going to be in the oven for about 50 to 60 minutes or so. Just make sure you keep an eye on it, and what you want to see is a little bit of separation probably, and a little bit of browning probably, about a couple inches in from the edges, but the center is going to be a little jiggly, just like the kind of, like Jello. So we're going to put it in the oven and leave it there for about 50 to 60 minutes, and when I comes back, I'll show you what it looks like when we take it out. So stay tuned. Welcome back, kids and parents, and I'm just waiting for the oven, and here we go. So now I'm going to take out the cheesecake. Turn on the alarm here. And take it out and take the water bath with it. And this is what I was talking about. I want it to go brown on the outside of the cake. It's about probably 2 inches or so, and the middle a little bit jiggly. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take that out of the water bath because I need it to cool down. And it's a little bit hot, so you got to be careful. I'm going to transfer it over to my rack. And why I got it on a rack? Because I need the air to get to it, and I want it to cool down fast. So you're going to leave it out in room temperature for about an hour, and then you're going to put it in your refrigerator for about 3 to 4 hours before you serve. And we're going to take a knife. We're just going to go around the edges like this. And what you're doing here, you're going to give it a little bit of space, and the cooling process is going to be faster. It's coming perfect. So like I said, you just want to go around the edges. You're going to leave it here for about an hour or so, and then you're going to transfer it to your fridge about 3 to 4 hours before you serve. Right now I got started my topping, which is my baked apples. I got them on the stove. I put in a bit of sugar, And you want about, just taste it every now and again, just to make sure that the sweetness that you want for your baked apples to be what you like. And I put in some pectin to bring it up to like a jelly kind of texture, and that's what we're going to add to the top of our cheesecake. And when I come back, I'm going to show you the results that we ended up with this cheesecake, with the baked apple cheesecake, and with the Fruit Loops cheesecake for the kids. Welcome back, parents and kids. We're going to start decorating this now. And before I take it out of the pan, I like to decorate the top of the cheesecake. And I'm going to show you what I'm doing with the baked apples and how we're going to do the little design on top. And we'll come right back after I get this done and I'll show you the plate out. So come in a little closer. And all I'm doing is going around the edges with the baked apples. And like I said, just, you know, put them around the edges. These are baked apples that I was telling you about earlier, Newfoundland and Labrador baked apples. And they're also called cloudberries, but we call them baked apples in this area. And right here, you see some baked apple jam that I stewed up. And I just added a little bit of sugar and some little bit of thickening to it. So I'm gonna put that in the middle. Like this. Just go right into the edges, like that. And right here we got some glaze. And what I'm gonna do with the glaze, I'm gonna go around the outer edge of the fresh berries that we just put on there. I'm just gonna glaze them, like this. And then we're gonna refrigerate it. I'm gonna refrigerate it for about an hour or so. And then we'll come back and I'll show you what the results are when we plate this one and the Fruit Loop cheesecake. So come right back. Hi, welcome back, kids and parents. So we're at our final stage here now, and I got the Fruit Loops cheesecake ready to go, and we're going to plate it. So I'm going to show you a little thing that I learned. Just take a can, any can at all, or it could be a cup or a mug or anything. Before you open your spring pan, you want your spring pan to fall in over. So you're going to open up your spring pan like this. Fall in over, like this. And then you want to take your parchment paper off, like that, and remove it. There we go. And there is your Fruit Loops cheesecake. So this is what kids are going to like, I think, and it's very colorful. So we're going to cut into that in a minute, but I want to get to our other one, and that's our baked apple cheesecake. So we're going to do the same thing with this one. And while I put it up here, like I said, I want the the pan to fall in over. And there we go. So just take the wrapping off. And you're going to lose some juices because they're not all going to stick to it. There we go. Some fall, but try your best. Go around your cake like that. All come off. Like that. Then we're going to take this one half. And this is your baked apple cheesecake. So now I'm going to plate them, and I'll show you a little trick. I put my knife in hot water, so when you cut it, it's not going to crumble. Hopefully it's not going to crumble. So we're just going to cut it through like this. This over so you can see. Get under this. it out. And this is what we want to see. A beautiful slice of baked apple cheesecake. And now move this one in, that one out. And then we'll cut into this one. Make sure your milk is warm, make sure it's hot. And we'll cut into this one. This one's going to be a little harder to cut into because, like I said before, you're doing Fruit Loops, and it's the same thing as you would do with a Rice Krispie square base. If you're using Fruit Loops. There we go. Let's do this one. Just get up under. Make sure it separates from the paper. This one's a little harder. Make sure I got it here. Cut it a little bit more, just to make sure. Here we go. We'll take this one out. This one's a little harder to get out. There we go. And here's your Fruit Loop one. So I'll take this out of the way. Wipe off my hands and the counter. So this is what we got. We got our Fruit Loops one, and we got our baked apple one. So with this now, I'm going to use a little bit of whipping cream on the side, a little bit on this one, like that, and we'll put probably some Fruit Loops there. That. And on this one, we're going to put some baked apples. So, here you go. I think it's pretty good. Try it at home and you'll enjoy it. So before we go, I'd like to thank my wife Dana again for taking me after today's show, and thank Roxanne Collins and Cloud Willis for the baked apples for this series, for this episode. So once again, come back next week and we'll do another recipe for you guys, for you kids. And thank you for showing up today and watching this episode of Cooking with the Mayor.